Welcome back, gamers. I thought I would start this episode off a little bit differently because I wanted to kind of just get us in the mood, in the zone, to be nice and, well, calm. Get nice and tranquil, zen out for a second, meditate, because we're gonna get really freaking mad here in just a little bit. I have a feeling some of us are gonna get real angry, either at me, most likely me, or maybe Jagex. Maybe Jagex, but hold your answers for the class until we get to the end of the review, okay? Because I don't want any spoilers just yet. I want you to yell at me either directly, but I want you to hear the whole thing first, okay? Hear my whole side. I'm in my favorite area of the game right now, the farming guild. Can you tell that I love farming? Is it the fact that I have my farming cape on? Is it the fact that that's the only skill I have 99 in? Or I guess technically also fire making, but that's not much different. We've got some things to talk about. One of Jagex's perhaps most controversial? I don't know how to talk. It's too early in the morning to talk. Updates probably to date. I would wager. This one's been a hot topic, and of course, I'm referring to shooting stars. Alright, so this is the update post that came out today, but before we get too far into it, we kind of need to go back a little bit, because this has been an ever-spanning saga across 2 whole months nearly. This is like a greater trilogy than the Dragon Ball series. We have to go way back to September 20th. This is where they first pulled it, and when they first made the first actual changes. It's easy AFK experience, it's easy AFK mining, and it's supposed to be like a community-based activity where you can interact with other players. Who would ever want to frickin' do that, though? And you can get some passive mining XP and a nice little unique that's only rewarded from shooting stars, that being something called Stardust. And a lot of these changes stemmed from when Desert Treasure 2 was released. If you're not familiar with that, there was a boss called Duke Succubus? I don't know. It was a big fish man. But apparently, and I've never done the quest, I haven't done the quest yet, so I'm not familiar with it. But when you defeated him, or before you activated the boss encounter, you were able to mine these different nodes in that boss area. Jagex thought, well, this isn't very canon to the game, right? Jagex is very hard on ways that are not meant to be in the game, similar to like splashing because, you know, they were imagining new players walking down the road, seeing a guy in full rune armor just throwing spells at a rat for 2 hours, thinking that's not something that they would just regularly see in the world of RuneScape, this fantasy land. So they kind of did the same thing with Duke Succubus and that mining encounter. So they instead came to players and said, how can we make up for taking this mining method out of the game, this AFK passive method, because everybody really hates mining. I don't know about you, but my opinion personally, never been a big fan of mining. I only got 78 whole mining levels. So it's just never been my forte. It's very, not click intensive, I mean, because it's not really, but some ways are. It's just kind of boring. For lack of a better word, it's just straight up boring. But mining shooting stars is pretty fun, and it's pretty passive. And I do have experience with this, unlike Chambers of Xeric. There it is. Similar to Forestry, I have it completed. There's only 2 things in it, and that is the Celestial Ring and the Star Fragment. Now, the Star Fragments you have to purchase from the Shooting Star shop. That's an alliteration if I ever did hear one. Alright, so here in Falador, and just if you're unfamiliar, he's right down here by the mining guild. I actually had trouble finding this shop when I first started doing this, and as you can see, people are coming to like offload all of their Stardust now, because Jagex is making some nerfs to the changes they've already made. But this guy right here, Drewski,
you got me.
If you trade with him, you can spend your Stardust that you earn from shooting stars on a couple of things. You can buy the Celestial Ring that I have right here, Star Fragments, and bags of gems, and soft clay packs. So the star fragments are used to color, or to change the color of your prospector armor. So after that quick history lesson about shooting stars, now you know why after they took out the Duke Succubus method of mining, they tried to alter it by changing or buffing the shooting star method. Now, since they are normally meant for just like a social interaction time, they're just like a distraction from whatever you're in the middle of doing currently, they made it to where shooting stars no longer deplete any faster when more people are mining them. So you can have a group of 10 mother truckers on that shooting star, and it's not going to deplete any faster than if it was just one person. Normally, the whole kind of meta, I suppose, was that one person would seek out the shooting star, because you can find them, you can find their locations, and then they would just mine them all by themselves. kind of defeating the purpose. So they tried to instead buff them all so you could just be there with your gang of friends, you could mine to your heart's content. So now fast forward to about 3.5 weeks ago, September 27th. This was the Wednesday or Thursday update of the week. Players took to Twitter, I guess now known as X. Whenever I talk about X now, I feel like I'm talking about a dirty website. You know the one, dude. Joseph, you know the one I'm freaking talking about. Don't act like you don't. So here's where things got kind of problematic. Shooting stars have become so popular that now the worlds, every world, are experiencing unexpected lag due to the number of players logging on to mine stars. Because these happen in every world. They randomly fall, and you have to track them to whatever world they're in, whatever location they're in. So because of the buff, they were so well worth doing now. Players were flooding every single world, causing lag spikes. So this is a huge problem for the game. Not only are shooting stars buffed now beyond belief, now they're causing lag spikes for their servers, and they're becoming even more serious down the road. Everyone was very positive about the update. They thought, Poggers, Jagex can make a good update. They can. People are saying this. So they tried to come up with some solutions here prematurely. Jagex does that, where they have some ideas, like making stars just be in certain worlds, but that would still mean those worlds would be extra affected. Fast forward to today, Shooting Stars' upcoming changes, and they go right off the top here by saying Shooting Stars has been a hot topic as of late, and that would be an understatement of the century. I think this was a bigger deal than even I had imagined. I hadn't made a video on it the first 2 times they talked about it because I thought they were just making small changes here and there. Then I read about the server issues that were happening, and then today they're making these nerfs, so I thought, it's a perfect trifecta. It's the perfect storm. I better jump in now. Strike while the iron's hot. And so next week, they say, we'll be making some tweaks to shooting stars that we believe are absolutely necessary to improve server stability and performance for all players, as well as the long-term health of mining as a skill. I think this was way more detrimental to the health of the skill than I even imagined to begin with. Here's why they say they changed them in September to begin with, and that's because they were, well received by players, even as just a regular social aspect. We all know, dude, Jagex is heavy about making this a social experiment. It's all about the interaction with other players, and that is kind of what's fun about them. That's how I enjoyed them too, even though when I was hunting for the shooting stars, I wasn't actively doing it just because I thought it sounded fun to talk to other people. Talk about AFK, and it's decent experience too, depending on the size of the star that you found. So not only was it causing server issues, because you can mine stars from early levels, look down here, from 10 to 99 mining. So you could start this from the very beginning of your RuneScape journey. The more important issue at hand is the sudden increase in engagement around this specific activity, causing a negative impact on server performance, which is kind of shocking to me. I am surprised that out of all things that Jagex pushes, out of all of the updates, this is the one that really seems to have the most impact on their server performance, but it's because it's a random happenstance. It's also because they're in such close proximity to each other, which makes it extremely problematic just because of, even if someone's doing a high-intensity PVM area like Chambers of Zarek, that's why I haven't been doing the raids, brother, because of the freaking shooting stars lag. That's why I try to tell you that. So the main thing, of course, is they have to reverse the server issues that are being caused by shooting stars. They also have to make sure that other mining training methods still have a place in the game and make it to where finding and mining stars remains a communal activity. So lots of bold things they want to try to do here. How are they going to find the medium ground here to make everybody happy? The one thing that players are going to hate, I already see people on Twitter, or I guess X videos, ranting and raving about, is changing this from every 5-minute intervals, or changing it to 5-minute intervals rather than 10 to 15. Not my precious AFK methods, dude! Come on! How am I supposed to not play the game, Jagex? So here's what they plan to do. Here's the changes they plan to make. First of all, the star degradation. Degradation? Degradation? Degradation. Degrading. Star degradation. That's gotta be it. Inconsistency between different star sizes. See here, size does matter. I'm sorry, man. Size matters here. I'm not saying anywhere else. but here. So some prove to be more favorable than others, like the medium sizes, right? Those are the ones that everyone says are the best. They don't hurt too much, right? Okay, stay with me for a second. Focus, okay? So low or mid-tier stars often prove to be the most lucrative because of these inconsistencies. The higher tiers are too slow. The lower tiers are just right, but not enough reward potential. So they're going to change it to make that no matter what, each size will last for 7 minutes. That's an impressive length. 7 minutes is a long time. That's what I'm saying. That's what I've been hearing. It's a long time. So that means per tier. So for example, a 9-tier star will last about 63 minutes because if you do that fast math right there, 9 times 7 is 63. That's down from the current time of approximately 86. Jagex, no! My AFK time, dude! So, different star sizes are no longer significantly favored over others. They're all going to be relatively in the same ballpark. The low-tier stars are no longer too AFK. High-tier stars no longer feel like they're not AFK enough. It's easier to understand how stars work. That's so funny to me. That's a hilarious sentence. Now they're easier to know how they're going to work. But how, though? Where do we see this information in game? How do we understand anything about them? They fall from the sky and we walk up to them. Nobody tells us jack about them. Unless you read the post or watch my video, and thank you, by the way, like the video, hey, thank you. Star landing is up next. So this is kind of the thing that's really causing an impact on some of the servers, because when the stars land, all the nerds jump to them and one go. And additionally, instead of making them drop in the world every 128 minutes, now they're going to take that number down to 90 minutes. So every hour and a half, the stars will rain down from the heavens upon the lands of Gielinor, and we will all rush to their side to mine the diamond. Shout out to that guy who noticed my Tobuscus reference earlier. It's about time that I mine the diamond. It's about time that I mine the diamond. So with star degradation being slightly quicker, decreasing the time between the spawns reduces downtime so players can bounce between the worlds to keep mining. So more stars over a course of the day, we love that. We love to hear it. So this is where the Stardust comes into play. This is why you see nerds just running in here as I've just been standing here to dump all of their Stardust. They are planning on reducing the number of Stardust that you're going to receive here to spend on your items that you might need, whether it be bags full of gems, soft clay packs. They are reducing how much you're going to be getting, so people are thinking they need to go purchase. If you've been saving it up, you may want to do this. I'm not telling you this is not a pump and dump scheme, but you may want to be cautious about how you're spending your Stardust here, especially if you don't at least have the collection log filled out or the sweet, sweet golden outfit. I love gold. But spend your Stardust if you want, because you're going to be getting less of it. Now, not much, but from around 600 dust per hour up to 1,000 dust per hour. It is reduced. Not much, depending on what pickaxe you're using, what your mining level is. So they give you a quick little update on how long it'll take to obtain these things if you're mining at about 1,000 dust per hour. And that random events and cannons will be disabled in the areas around active stars. Think back to Forestry. They did the same thing with random events there because players were either griefing or just being a big old freaking idiot and causing lots of mischief for no reason. But this was also causing a lot of the lag, which interestingly enough has minimal impact on server performance, just more impact on your client, which I thought was kind of interesting. And then we're going to wrap it up here. We're going to go over one final little summary just to give you the cliff notes here in case you skip to the end of the video, because I would imagine that someone probably heard my voice and thought, oh hell no, we just want to see the cliff notes here. So here you go. So here's just a very quick bullet point. No star will be significantly more favorable than others. They're going to be spreading players out. Oh baby, don't talk dirty to me right now, it's too early. Stars become easier to understand for players and us. I mean, I still don't get that part. How are players going to know that? How are they going to understand? They're in the game. The star falls from the sky. How do they know how much XP they're going to get per hour or what it even is? I guess you just have to read it about it. In the skill guide, perhaps, the core identity of stars as a communal mining activity will be retained because they're going to be still not going depleting as quickly as they were before. XP gain scales better with mining, relies less on star size, that's a good one, and item reward gain is reduced back to pre-change levels, so they're getting nerfed. They're getting nerfed more or less. Don't get upset, okay? Don't get mad. I'm just telling it like it is. So this is what we're dealing with here. How do you feel about some of these binding changes? There was a lot to talk about today. I'm gonna have to really cut this video down because it was a little long. So if you skip to the end of the video, I hope you at least heard some of the things you wanted to, or at least you were able to get familiar with what's going to be happening. You may want to spend some of your Stardust. Hopefully you have the collection log green logged like I do. If not, what are you doing with your life, man? It's a really easy one. There's literally just 2 things. Most people are spending them on gym packs, of course, so maybe you should do the same. I don't know. Like I said, I'm already done with shooting stars, so this doesn't really impact me too much. But if you haven't, you might want to jump into it now while the getting's good. I gotta get ready to work out. I gotta edit this video because it's freaking way too long. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed. I'll see you next time. I've been pumping these videos out, and I'm tired, Grandpa. I'm tired. I gotta take a nap, but I gotta go to the gym first. Alright, I'm done talking. Goodbye, everyone. See you soon. Thanks for all the support on everything. I love everybody so much. Leave a comment. Leave a like. I read every single comment. I reply to them. Even if you're calling me a name, even if you're saying I don't know jack diddly squat. You're right, but you're hurting my feelings. Bye.